They must return the hostages before I take power, as I will wipe them off the face of the earth, a clear and blunt threat from the former President of the United States against the Palestinian Hamas movement and resistance factions. This president, who has always sparked controversy with his resounding statements, perhaps did not change the U.S. administration's policy in the Middle East significantly, but his tenure was characterized by frankness and a lack of pretense. A few weeks separate us from the U.S. presidential elections, the results of which will alter the course of aggression on Gaza. Will it change for better or worse? We will try to answer this in this video, so stay with us. The statement mentioned at the beginning of the video is one of the harshest phrases Trump has uttered during his presidential campaign. His stance on supporting Israel is clear and declared: Jerusalem is the capital of one state, which is Israel. There is no Palestinian state. Palestinian resistance must be eradicated. The Saudi government must pay for continued U.S. military protection. Many of these statements were translated into real actions on the ground during his previous term, indicating a far-right or even fascist American president, if we may say so, who believes in the supremacy of the white race and the legitimacy of Zionism in the holy Palestinian lands. He went further when commenting on the current situation between China and Taiwan, which is an urgent target for the Chinese government. Who can forget his statement when he said, "Taiwan must pay us for protection, or we will hand it over to China"? This reflects his view of the United States as an insurance company that secures political safety for anyone who desires it, in exchange for simple payments of money, oil, and other resources that increase his country's and people's wealth at any cost. One might imagine that Trump is a far-right extremist against non-Americans, but this is not true at all. Going back specifically to the previous elections in which Joe Biden, the left-wing candidate, won, Trump rejected the results outright and accused the American administration of manipulating the outcome to overthrow him. He translated his claims into action by urging his supporters to storm the White House, akin to the soft coup attempts in our afflicted countries. The resulting chaos was unprecedented and led to Trump's arrest and multiple legal confrontations. Here arises the question, why all this hostility and hatred from this man towards anyone not in his party of supporters? The answer lies in one word: fascism. A term historically used by historians to describe Adolf Hitler, the German leader, or Benito Mussolini, the former Italian president. Fascism is an ideology based on hatred of others, believing in their own superiority and entitlement to life over others, considering anyone not among them as an enemy to be eliminated. Examples of this ideology include Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, and his Defense Minister, who described Palestinians as human animals, as well as the Israeli Minister Ben-Gvir, who continuously incites the complete extermination of the indigenous people. The core issue lies in the ideology these individuals believe in, which can only be overcome by armed force. The question persists: is Netanyahu waiting for his prominent ally to succeed in the US elections? Is this why he repeatedly delayed agreeing to the prisoner exchange deal proposed by the Biden administration and intermediaries? Will Gaza turn into bloodbaths if Donald Trump wins? Let's start with the most important question: will Trump truly win the US elections? Looking at the reality of American society and setting aside pro-Palestinian videos, we find a significant portion of Americans believe in Trump's ideology of white supremacy and that the elections were rigged to oust him. Thus, it can be said that Trump has enough supporters to succeed in the elections. The same goes for the strong Zionist lobby in America, which strongly supports him due to his complete alignment with Netanyahu's demands from the US administration. However, we must not forget the role of the deep state in America and globally, which has clearly shifted towards the left, promoting ideas like adultery, homosexuality, alcohol consumption, and blasphemy of all religions. Trump outright rejects all these ideas. Therefore, the result is not yet determined and is difficult to predict. Regarding the nature of the war if Trump wins, I do not foresee any significant change in US behavior towards the issue. What difference is there between Trump and Biden except for Trump's bombastic slogans? Will Trump support Israel with weapons? Biden hasn't stopped supplying Israel with weapons from the very beginning. Will Trump permit the extermination of Palestinian civilians? Did Biden reject it? All the difference lies in Trump's straightforwardness. He calls things by their names, considering you an enemy and aiming to destroy you. In contrast, Biden and his ilk make embellished statements disconnected from reality. He condemns the genocide of Gaza residents while US-made bombs are found in Shujaiya and Bethlehem. He denounces hindering Palestinian aid while blessing Netanyahu before the Rafah invasion. In conclusion, U.S. policy directly impacts our afflicted countries as long as there is no resistance and no people with opinions and actions regarding what happens in their homeland. Therefore, the only factor that will affect the course of the war between Israel and the Al-Qassam brigades and Palestinian resistance is the state of the resistance itself. They alone can impose a new reality on the Zionists, or even the world, through their weaponry. The more prepared they are, the closer victory will be, God willing.